Are we live? I don't know. This is my second attempt, because it looks like the whole... Error. Duplicate streaming key. Select a new key below. Well, that was what I thought I was doing. So, let's quickly refresh this and see if this other stream key is working. Because I'm sending something somewhere, so to the world out there. Hey, no, YouTube's just caught up, but it says connection is excellent. So that's fantastic. Awesome. Welcome everybody. My name is Josiah, also known as Chilling Silence, and today we're here. Actually, you know what we're gonna do? No, we're gonna play some Among Us. So what I'll do is I'll bring this up here, and we're just gonna go full screen, and we're gonna go gaming recording, and there we go. Let's play. No, I'm just kidding. We're not actually gonna do that, but I thought it would kind of be funny anyway. So. Hit me up in the live chat there, let me know that it's all good. I think it is. I can see a lot of friendly faces and things there. Blaz saying, DigiByte Among Us. Yeah, I thought something like that could actually be kind of funny. I was really tempted to do something like that, especially during New Zealand's second lockdown. I thought it would just be entertaining. We've got a few messages. Let's play together. Maybe we should at some point then. Just for shits and giggles. Why not? The game where nobody trusts anybody. So it'd probably fit in really well with the crypto scene in general. We should do that. We should get people representing different cryptocurrencies and just play among... Oh, that would be so good. That would be so good. So, topics for today. So far, the plan is to talk about DigiByte, a little bit more DigiByte, and maybe a little bit of other DigiByte things. Other than that, to be honest, I haven't actually thought it through terribly far, but that's okay. So, I know a few people, what I'll do, let me just quickly actually bring this up. Let's grab Medium, because I know a couple of people have some questions about Random X. And so, let's start off with Random X. Hit me up in the chat. Blaz says, Devi's working on that. Cool. We need a game where you can risk your DigiByte against each other. Oh! Why, Kegel, I'm just happy to see you're awake. Yeah, actually, so, let me... I'll show you a little bit behind the curtain here. This is how awake I am this morning. 2 cuppers. Hey. Yeah, so let's quickly switch over. So, the problem is I've lent my, because I haven't been doing a lot of live streams and things, a mate of mine started up live streaming, so I've lent my Stream Deck to him, which is normally where I hit the button, and it will just chop and change and go full screen with the video, and then showing me at a corner, which is this one? Yeah. Alright then. So, let me move some of the cell phone away, and let's go like that. Cool, so, Random X, got a lot of questions coming in about it. Hit me up with your questions, one's got Bailey's in it, John. Oh, maybe that's some inspiration. Hit me up in the chat with your comments, questions, concerns, things you want to know, things you're curious about. No question is a dumb question, unless it's a question that you're not asking. So, ask a question, because I'd love to hear from you. I want to help teach people about Random X and why we are going down this path. So, let's have a quick look here. Let me just shift some things around. Much love from Chicago. Thanks, Chicago Scotto. Let me just take out the tea bag here, and we'll dive into Random X. The other tea bag's disappeared, so don't know what's going to go on there. Okay, so Random X is CPU mining. Now, a lot of people have kind of asked, why? Like, why do we want this? Why not just stick with what we've got? And in fact, Noah's actually a really big proponent of advocating for... Even if we stopped developing tomorrow on DigiByte, it will still carry on and still tick over and just be happy, which is true. He's right. There's not an like emergency need to upgrade, so this is more about doing a bunch of nice to haves and things. So CPU mining is very much a nice to have. It's nice that I can contribute from my home computer. I've just got one CPU, and same for, like, I mean, the theory is you should be able to do it on your cell phone as well, to be able to contribute. Now, cell phone's obviously going to contribute very little hash rate, but it will still contribute. It will still also mine DigiByte. You will get freshly minted DigiByte from an exchange, which is actually pretty cool as well, especially because there is no KYC. So the coins that you have are effectively fresh. There is no history attached to it. There is no way that, for example, a nefarious person could be trying to monitor the blockchain and see that this has gone to you, depending on, obviously, the way that you have set it up, and things like that. So there's a lot more advantages as well in terms of the broadening the participation, not just from the decentralization and the security aspect, which of course this is going to improve, but also we're broadening the number of people that are able to get their hands on these DigiBytes. There is no big barrier to entry here. So a lot of people will come along and they'll say, in the Telegram chat, for example, where can I go to basically get my hands on some DigiByte if I don't feel like going through KYC, or if I only want to get a little bit? A lot of exchanges, for example, will require somewhere in the vicinity of like $50 worth. So what if you only want $5 worth? What if you only want $10 worth? What if you're a student, and you only want to chuck in a couple of bucks here, there, wherever? So that's one of the benefits of CPU-based mining, and the same largely applies also to GPUs as well, slightly different. But you can do this, and you can participate in the network with effectively no barrier to entry. And I think that's really quite important, and that's one of the lesser talked about, specifically, benefits. And I think we actually need to start talking about that a lot more often, because that way it's not just people participating who've gone out and had a lot of money to invest in either A, DigiByte, and go spend $1,000, or B, hardware, like an FPGA or an ASIC, for example. So we are really removing that barrier to entry and allowing more people to participate. And I think that in and of itself is actually quite important. So in terms of questions here, Kegel has said, how much hash is available for RandomX? Is there any risk for us incorporating it with so few projects using it? That is a brilliant question, actually. So what I should do is let's bring up what to mine. Because, sorry if you can hear the truck out there reversing to go and collect the rubbish. Yay! It seems they're working on a public holiday, so good for them. Let me bring this up here. And what I should really do is just move the chat so it's slightly more visible. There we go. Okay. So, how much hash rate is available on RandomX? So at the moment with what to mine, it's giving us a real ballpark idea. Now somebody jumped in on Telegram the other day and they said, how much will my laptop mine? And it's an incredibly broad question that we can't possibly know the answer to, because A, we don't know what kind of laptop this person has. We don't know what CPU they've got. We don't know how much memory they've got. We don't know the overall hash rate of the network. We don't know the value of DigiByte when we do incorporate it, and there's a couple of other little variables. So long story short, we just don't know. But what we do know is if we look at, let's say for example, RandomX here, we've got two other blockchains that are currently using it. So the quantum resistant ledger, I think that's QRL. The quantum resistant ledger? Yeah, it is. Okay. Oh, and they're using RandomX. Today I learned. Cool. And we've also got Monero. So Monero, it was basically created for Monero as a CryptoNight replacement. So what I can actually do is... No, I won't, because I've not covered up those... Let's bring up Twitter. I think I put it up on Twitter. Did I put it on Twitter? Give me just a moment, sorry. Oh, it was in one of the DigiByte videos, wasn't it? Ah, ha, 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 ha. Pictures, pictures, pictures. Where did I save it? I didn't actually save it, did I? Okay, so you're just gonna have to take my word for it that I've actually been doing it and had it hashing. So let's look at some actual numbers here, because this is where it kind of actually gets interesting. We're also going to bring up coin market cap by Rubbish Truck. Sorry about the noise there. Okay, so let's have a look at Monero. Monero is currently sitting at a $2.3 billion market cap for them. And by comparison, let's also have a look at QRL. So where are we here? Oh, it tells us here. So I don't need CoinMarketCap up. They are sitting at, where are we here? 13 mega hash. They're sitting at 1.6 gigahash. So let's try and do some math and make this a little bit interesting, and we'll try and work this out roughly how much DigiByte is going to have. So let's grab percentage calculator. We have 13 is a percentage of 1630. Okay. So rough back of the napkin math here, the QRL is currently sitting a little bit under 1% of Monero. Now these guys have a market cap of approximately 10 million. So what is DigiByte's market cap at the moment? 300 million. Okay. 300 million versus their 10 million. Now the interesting thing though is that you're only getting 1/5 of our daily newly minted coins are going to be going into this. So let's divide it by 5 and work it out. So that's going to give us about 60 million. So it wouldn't surprise me if we were sitting around 5% of the total hash rate there. 5% of the total hash rate, give or take, is going to put us at, yeah, so around about 60 mega hash. Okay. That's not bad. That's going to be some decent security for sure. Now, if you factor in, I think my desktop was 9500. So there's 2 different modes for RandomX, I believe. Let me actually bring this up, because they talk a little bit about it here. Okay, so RandomX can operate in 2 main modes with different memory requirements. Light mode and fast mode, here we go. So requires only 256 megs of shared memory, but runs significantly slower. Now, when I was doing this, I was getting, I think, around about 5,500 hashes per second. Yeah, that sounds about right on my desktop CPU. When I changed it into fast mode, which requires more memory, so I basically, the miner applied this setting to my computer and allowed me to then reboot, and it applied fast mode, I believe. That then almost gave me an extra like 50% hashes, so that was pretty cool. So there are 2 different memory modes there. Where was I going with this? That hash rate, yeah, 105 watts. So let's hit the calculate button and see what it comes back with. So even on a desktop CPU, you're still looking at receiving 75 cents worth per day. That's actually not too bad. What's 1 DigiByte worth at the moment? 2 cents. So you're going to be making around about 35 DigiByte a day. That's kind of cool. So let's factor in, if we also do some Explorer. Let's bring this up. Let's have a quick look at how much DigiByte are coming into circulation. 590. So if we go 5760 blocks per day, we're only doing 1, and then we're multiplying it by 590 DigiByte. So newly minted DigiByte for RandomX is going to give us 680,000 DigiByte a day. So that's actually quite a lot. Now, if we were to then, so let's say that my CPU is an average one. It's not. It's relatively new, but just for shits and giggles, what did I say I was going to get? 35. So divide that by 35. Holy shit. 19,000 CPUs worth. Is that right? I mean, that wouldn't surprise me. That's a lot of CPUs worth, though. That's a lot of CPUs worth. Holy damn. Well, okay. That's going to be a lot of people participating, or a lot of computers participating in DigiByte. Wow. That's really cool. Awesome. Well, I mean, I hope that answers that rough question there. Are there any risks to us incorporating it with so few projects using it? That was the other part that I wanted to kind of address. Are there any risks? Yes, technically there are risks. Now, you can rent CPUs. You can go and you can spin up a virtual machine, and it will cost you a couple of bucks. Are you going to get 19,000 CPUs worth that are decently performing? Heck no. No way. Not a freaking chance. What about botnets would be the next question. Yeah, so that's entirely plausible. And this is something that we actually saw happen with, what was it back in the day? It was Vertcoin got hit by a botnet. Now the problem is that in the light mode, which only requires 256 megs of memory, it definitely runs slower. I found that out firsthand when I was testing it earlier in the week. So most computers, if all of a sudden you swallow up an extra couple of gigs worth of memory, people are gonna notice, especially when things slow down also because of the CPU. So, are there, I mean, that's 20,000 CPUs worth of decently performing CPUs. So running in light mode, yeah, the chances of that actually, I mean, yeah, it is still plausible. Somebody could find a botnet. The joys with DigiByte though is that they would max out effectively at just 20% of the hash rate. If this one particular, let's say there was a major vulnerability discovered in Windows, like some of those ones that were discovered back in the Windows XP days, and you'd go online and you'd be online for like a couple of minutes and you'd be infected because back then they didn't have firewalls and everyone was on dial-up. The good old days. Ballpark then, like even if that were to have happened and there were, let's say, like 1 million computers out there that were infected and mining DigiByte all of a sudden, aside from the fact that it would kind of actually be cool in some ways because it would be hilarious as hell, they would at most still be able to get 20%. It would average out, and basically, yeah, it's not that big of a deal given multi-algo. I mean, it's less than ideal, don't get me wrong, but you get where I'm going with that. Let's carry on. I'll churn through some of the other questions, hopefully a little bit faster here. So it would be awesome preparing a mining guide with randomics before implementations vote. When vote done, everyone can start mining at the same time. Yeah, so Halil has basically just said, can we prepare a guide? That's actually one of the things that I did back in the day, was if we go to... give me just a moment here. Here's an old website that I put together. This is DigiByte Guides. Unfortunately, then Scheme Mining is no longer GPU friendly. Myriad Grostel is now replaced. So under these were mining guides that I created. And so you could, I basically walked people through getting it all set up. Will we be doing something similar? Yes. Actually, that's something that I wanted to bring up because I've just seen this morning on Twitter. Where are we here? Where are we? It was about, here we go. And I wanted to bring this up here. Updated blog link. Dun 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 dun. How with Vertcoin. Vertcoin has, let me bring this across. Let's just shrink that a little bit because no one cares about ads. Okay, Vertcoin have just released their VertHash miner. It's a high-performance GPU miner for the VertHash algorithm. So this is kind of cool. Open source, thanks to the Vertcoin project, la da 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 da. Oh, so this is basically actually the same sort of thing as XMRig. Okay, well that's not actually as exciting as I was hoping for. I was kind of hoping this was going to be a one-click miner. It's not. It looks like it is a replacement for XMRig, which we are more likely to be using. So if I quickly search for this and bring this across here. So this is basically the software that we're likely to be using, XMRig. Now I actually saw some mention in here about prog power mining as well, which would be really interesting. Doing it all on the one device. So, CPU mining, OpenCL for AMD GPUs, and CUDA for NVIDIA GPUs. That's pretty cool. So what we can actually do is just go releases. You can come in here, you can grab them, you can download them. You can actually grab the software now and try it out with... actually, we can benchmark this. Oh, let's have some fun and break my stuff. Let's see if we can kill the live stream. Benchmark. So this is currently benchmarking it, and hopefully it's not going to kill my live stream. Now, is it actually going to... It's not going to say anything. Whatever. Okay. It'll start giving us more details real shortly. This is basically running a benchmark at the moment to tell me roughly what I would expect. So you can come in here and you can download XMRig. And that's basically what I launched it with, was XMRig -- bench 1 million. Now, I mentioned this in my Medium post. So let's chuck this Medium post in the chat here for you, because I can see a lot still going on. Now, so this is kind of going back to what Halil asked. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I'm sorry if I'm not. About getting things up and running and tested. So you can go and grab this. Actually, let's also pop XMRig in there as well in the chat, so that you can go and download it and run a test. Here we go. So this is the current hash rate. Now, the way that this works is this is going to show here miner. So the speed after 10 seconds, 60 seconds, and 15-minute averages. So because I've only been running it right now for 61 seconds, when it next prints it, the first and the second ones will show me my averages. The 10-second one's going to go up and down a lot. The 60-second one's going to give me a bit more of a better average. And then the 15-minute one, it's not going to benchmark for 15 minutes. I think it'll benchmark for give or take like 3 minutes worth. Now, huge pages. This is what I was talking about before. This is basically running it in the... What mode were we talking about? Fast versus light? So I think it's fast mode. It was on here. Fast mode. That's, I believe, what huge pages is. Now, I'm still very new to RandomX myself. If anybody is in the comment section and you can correct me about that, that would be lovely. Or if I've got it right, give me like a thumbs up or something and just let me know. Yeah, here we go. Okay, perfect. Speed, 10 seconds, 60 seconds, 15 minutes. So those are my current, that's my current hash rate, 4,300. Wow, that's slow. I'm guessing it's because I'm busy doing a whole bunch of other stuff as well. With OBS. Anyway, back to the question. Can we get some details about it? Now, in here, I've basically mentioned that we want compatibility with existing RandomX miners, such as XMRig. The idea being that we don't want to have to do any modifications and release a DigiByte specific miner, because if we can play nice with the generic stuff that's already out there, that's going to give us a huge advantage in terms of adoption. If we can, like, if people are out there and they are currently mining Monero, they're currently mining QRL, and they can come very easily from that to DigiByte, at least personally, I think it's going to give us a real big advantage there in terms of getting that broader adoption and getting more people to participate on the network. So this is what I've said here. Compatibility with existing RandomX miners such as XMRig, which we can see is here. I said here, this is especially important given RandomX was written for Monero with Monero's RPC calls. So the way that this works is there's going to be a compatibility layer that is done at the pool level. And it's going to change the way that the pool interfaces with the DigiByte core wallet, basically. So will you need any big guides and things like that? No, not really. And to be honest, it's not much more than launching XMRig with a couple of details. I wonder if I've got the other one here still. Dun 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 dun. Yeah, let me bring this up. Dun 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 dun. This is what I used to launch it. So, XMRig, you're telling it that the algorithm is RandomX. The options are Stratum URL and then the IP address. That's a fake IP address. You give it a username and no password. So that's pretty much all that it is. So let me put that all on one line so we can actually, is that in the, yeah it is. It's probably tiny, but actually we can go view. We can bump up the font size because we have the technology. Yeah. Okay. So, in terms of getting it set up, it is literally as simple as going here. Where are we? XMRig. You download the software. Pick Windows, Linux, whatever. There is already a file in there with a demonstration like this. So you simply change it. We want the algorithm to be randomX. You put the URL of your pool in there, the username you use with the pool, and that's it. Like, that's super easy to get going with. I want it to be even easier, and I'm super keen for like a one-click miner that can interface with DigiByte Core Wallet or something along those lines. You know, maybe it will generate you its own set of private keys and addresses that you could then import into like Android or DigiByte Core or something along those lines. I think that would be really, really cool. But that's for the future. So much for me going through and really quickly getting to these questions as well. So, Halil also asked, is randomX an ASIC resistant algorithm? Yes, it is specifically for CPU mining. You can mine it on your GPU. It's not quite as efficient. CPUs are basically where it's at. But yeah, the idea is that it is an ASIC resistant algorithm. Actually, what do they say about it? I think it's CPU focused. What do they say? RandomX is a proof-of-work algorithm that is optimized for general-purpose CPUs. RandomX uses random code execution, hence the name, together with several memory hard techniques to minimize the efficiency and advantage of specialized hardware. So they're not outright saying it's ASIC resistance, but they are saying that if you were to make one, then you would basically have very little to no advantage, and the idea being that it is random code execution, it changes and things like that, so that you hopefully won't be able to run it on an FPGA and get any kind of major advantage. Let's actually try and churn through some of these really quickly here. Where were we? Nice to see you back, Josiah. Nice to see the community. Yeah, it is. Thanks, Archie. It's great to see people. Hey, Kanan's in here as well. Hey, man. It's good to see you. Congrats on getting that that miner out, Kanan, for Vertcoin. Because that's really cool. Do I still have that? I don't. I've got this up. Vertcoin have been doing their own GPU mining algorithm, for those who are not too familiar with it. I like Vertcoin, and I like the idea and the ideals that they've stuck to in terms of remaining GPU focused. So I think that that's really awesome. I like that differentiator. A lot of people know I'm quite outspoken in my dislike for Litecoin in terms of the fact that it's just kind of gone with emotions and has no real differentiator these days. I like that Vertcoin have actively gone and tried to maintain that GPU focus. And I think that's really cool. And so a big shout out to them for getting VertHash off the ground. I think that's really awesome. So shout out to Kanan. If you're not following him, I think he's one of the guys who's quoted this. There we go. Kanan01. Go give him a follow on Twitter because he's a good dude. He doesn't tweet very much these days though. Where have you been, man? Eddie, I'm loading up on DigiByte, but now I'm not sure what a good amount would be. 100,000, 200,000, or 1,000. I'm not going to tell you to buy DigiByte. I'm not. And that's actually one of the things that I want to talk about, is a lot of people have a sense of price must go up, or they get really upset about what's going on with the inflation of DigiByte. What are we at, like 8 or 9% at the moment, I think? And I mean, it's rapidly dropping, but they're like, there's so much inflation. Or I saw somebody on the Telegram channel going, we need miners to stop selling for a whole, like 1 month out of every 3. Don't they realize if they did that, the price would go up? Which is really hilarious because it's counter to the whole idea that miners, being proof-of-work miners, need to sell their DigiByte in order to pay for their power. And that's how you actually get the DigiByte asset distributed. Like, this fella wouldn't have been able to buy DigiByte if miners weren't selling it. Like, who do you think lists it there in the first place on an exchange? It's miners, and they list it there to sell, usually to pay for power. So I'm not going to tell you to buy DigiByte myself. Unfortunately, I had to sell some last year at our low, and man, that gutted me like you would not believe. But I've slowly myself been buying more, at least once a month, usually once a fortnight. I get paid monthly, and just kind of rebuilding up and getting a little bit more DigiByte myself, since I had to sell in November to pay for the deposit of the house that I am currently living in. Yay! But that also really gutted me because I'd purchased a lot of that DigiByte. I myself actually went out and I borrowed 30 grand, and I think it got me like 120,000 DigiByte. And so I don't recommend doing that. The price went up. This was at the height of, I think it was like December 2017. Price went up and it doubled at that time again and reached its all-time high. And then I held on to that as price go crashing down, crashing down, crashing down, crashing down. So I'd borrowed 30 grand and I didn't get back jack shit for it when I had to sell it. So that guts me. For that reason, yeah, look, if you expect the price to go up, don't buy DigiByte, don't buy Bitcoin, don't buy any crypto, because the harsh reality is price can go up, price can go down. Nobody owes it to you to make the price go up. Nobody owes it to you to make the price go down either. So it is a risk, and that's why I'm never going to tell anyone to buy crypto. If you're up with that kind of volatility, sweet, by all means, go hard. I mean, likewise, I won't stop anybody, and I'm more than happy to say myself, I've been buying DigiByte. So yeah. Where are we? APS says, I think if you can wait long enough, 250k DigiByte should be enough for most people. I don't understand. What's enough? I just keep buying DigiByte. The Ghost says, when fungibility? That's a really interesting question. This is something that the Litecoin team have actually now finally decided that they do want to differentiate themselves from Bitcoin with fungibility, which is actually quite cool using Mimblewimble. And I like that a lot. Let me just get rid of that off the stream. Let's just have that up because I think it looks kind of pretty. And I myself have contributed both in terms of financially. I donated, I went out and I got, I think it was 2.5 Litecoin to donate at the time when it was worth, I think they were $100 something each or whatever. So I donated to this fund for Litecoin because I wanted to see the Mimblewimble and extension blocks take off. I thought it would be quite cool. And I've also actually, can I bring that up? Let me just quickly bring this up on another monitor here. Yeah. I was working on this as well to help out. One of the things that one of the developers was saying is that it was difficult to get people to build it from source and test it out and contribute to the network and have a node on the network and things like that. So I started working on a Docker file. So the idea being that you simply run those commands and it will build everything for you and put it in a nice little container, and it's self-contained and things. Now, the reason that I'm saying this is because I wanted to contribute to Mimblewimble and extension blocks. They are a fungibility, not privacy, but a fungibility improvement for the Litecoin blockchain. The difference there is very subtle but important. So fungibility being that if I give you some Litecoin, you can't tell where those Litecoins have specifically come from. Were they used previously in the Cryptopia hack? Were they part of another exchange hack? Have they been used in the past? Excuse me. Now that's quite important because the idea being that you can, an exchange could potentially say, no thank you, we don't want to use those Litecoin because they are tainted. It's kind of important for use in that sort of a cash, using it as cash perspective. Is DigiByte going to do anything like that? I don't know. To be honest, we could in the future. We're going to see, I guess, how Mimblewimble and extension blocks go. It's kind of cool. I like it. I've contributed to it. I've contributed both financially as well as time and effort in putting together this kind of code. And I gave it to the developer and he thought it was quite cool. So, yeah, maybe. We'll see how that goes. Let me go back to, where are we here? White Kegel. In addition, which specific algo will be replaced by RandomX? I don't know exactly, but we've got RandomX and we've got ProgPow both coming. And actually, I should talk about ProgPow. That's a really good one. The chances are we're likely to replace SHA-256 will be the first one, be it with RandomX or ProgPow, I don't know. And then afterwards we would replace Skeen, I think, with either of the other two, be it ProgPow or RandomX, whatever one's remaining. Quick update for everybody, what happened with ProgPow, where are we at? I talked with Christy Lee earlier on this week as well, like 2 or 3 days ago, and basically just asked her like what the hold-up was. She's having troubles, like it's mostly implemented, but she's having troubles getting the hashes to match up. So what you mine on your computer versus what the mining pool expects the hash to be, sort of thing, when they check your work and stuff like that. This is something that the developer for RandomX has been specifically working on with that middleware layer. Have I got... Oh, that's right, don't worry about it. And they're matching now. This middleware layer is what has helped with that. Now, I basically, so the reason this has been delayed, why has it been delayed so much? Now, most of it is an unfortunate series of events, and I hope she's okay with me talking about this. She's talked about it publicly before on her Twitter and things, so I'm presuming, but long story short, she had cancer. Unfortunately, that came back at the start of the year. She then got COVID-19, which sucked. She then got sick again from having to have I think it was some kind of like a cyst or a growth removed. She put up photos of that on Twitter, which were gory and glorious at the same time. Good on her for being so open about that. She then got COVID-19 again a second time, and then had other health complications. So poor thing has been through the absolute fucking ringer. She is such a trooper, and I take my hat off to her. Unfortunately, though, that kind of healthcare in America is not exactly cheap. So she's been working and doing jobs, basically as part of the 9-to-5 sort of thing, and only working on ProgPow every other weekend when she can. Hence the delays. But I also want to give a big shout out to her and thank her for all of the work that she has done. She's basically, at the moment, what it looks like she's going to do is take the code and commit it as and where it is. And once the guy that we've got who is doing RandomX is finished with RandomX, he's then going to finish off ProgPow. I asked her what she wanted in terms of like splitting that developer bounty and things like that, and she basically just said she doesn't want any of it. She wants to give it all to the guy who does the final implementation. So just kind of finalizing that with him now and how that's going to work and things, and that'll kind of be cool for us to help reimburse him a little bit more as well for the countless hours that have already been put into it. Just to give you a little bit of an idea, so he's a crazy Australian, and we won't hold that against him. It seems to Australians make really, really good crypto developers. So Christy Lee is from Australia. One of the guys that we used to have, Gary, he's also from Australia. Incredibly talented dude. This guy, his name's Barry Styles. I'm losing my voice here. And he is crazy as shit. But man, he is hilarious and incredibly talented as well. Incredibly, incredibly talented. I hope he doesn't mind me talking about him. Too late if not. So he is fantastic, and he's been doing a lot of this RandomX work for us. So really looking forward to getting all of that committed. Hopefully within even the next couple of days, we're going to see that pull request made against the main DigiByte core repositories. Yeah. So after RandomX, it looks like he will do the ProgPow implementation and finish that off for us as well. So super, super excited there. White Kegel, is 19,000 people accurate? I really don't know, and that's the hard thing. It could be accurate. I could be like way off, but it wouldn't surprise me, right? So let's take this hash rate that we've got right here, 4,200. So if I've got 4,200 hashes, where was what to mine? 4,200 hashes, and these guys have got 1, 3, Just bring my calculator back across. So 1339. So mega hash is million hashes, right? Okay, so then we need to go 1, 2, 3. So that's how much they've got on a 10 million market cap. So if we're going to divide that by, what's my CPU? Let's do 4,200, right? Just for shits and giggles. So they've got 3,000 unique miners, and then if we're gonna like again, this is just really ballpark extrapolation here. We're going to then take those 3,200 miners that are or CPUs worth of my CPU. We're going to multiply it by about 5 to get the market cap of DigiByte for the RandomX side of algorithm. So we'll just multiply that by 5, and we're getting 16,000. So yeah, in all honesty, it could bring an extra 15 to 20,000 miners in, or CPUs worth of miners. Now, keep in mind that a lot of people who are doing GPU mining and have a GPU mining farm might then take their CPU and just point it at that. So they might have 10 computers and they might point that at it. Or me, for example, I've got my desktop computer, which is down here. I've also got my... You can mine on a laptop. Most laptops, I mean, I don't recommend closing the lid because they do get fucking warm. And I've also got my wife's computer. Are they going to mine 24/7? Heck no, but maybe in the evenings and things. So yeah, we could see 15 to 20,000 unique-ish miners from this, and that wouldn't actually surprise me now that I'm doing the math. So that's pretty freaking cool, really. Especially if we start getting people mining on their cell phones and stuff, actually. I want to show you this because this really upset me. I dropped my phone for the first time. I don't think the last time I dropped the phone would have been about 6 or 7 years ago, and it's cracked, and so my wife's gone over with a UV resin to try and you can see the... And I was so gutted when I dropped it earlier on this week. So gutted. Back to the questions and things. Where are we here? DC Boogie says I know someone with 1.5 million DigiByte. That's cool. I've never had that much, and I think that's awesome. Has there been any papers that discuss the weaknesses with RandomX? Oh, dude, that's such a fucking good question. Thank you for asking that. I like that a lot. So, I'm going to include a link here, and I'm going to put the code of RandomX. This is cool. So, thank you for that question. Have there been independent audits? Yes. Now, look at how much money they've spent on audits. Holy shit. That's a lot of audits. So, if we bring these 4 audits up, you can go and check them out yourself. These are independent audits that have been done by different people, funded by different people and things like that. So this is really cool. And RandomX has actually had more independent audits done on it than ProgPow. ProgPow's had 2 independent audits. They found like a couple of like minor things that they recommended they fix. Same thing here with RandomX. Now these audits are freaking cool. Trail of Bits. Sorry, here we go. So if you click on the audits, it'll take you to the audits. Let's bring these up. Because we don't actually care too much about the companies and things, except that some of these are incredibly reputable and very well revered in the industry. So, security audit, like these are thorough as fuck. Let's go have a quick look. Summary, Monero is planning on using RandomX, an innovative proof of work attempting to maximize the advantage of miners equipped with mainstream CPUs. Monero hired them. The section below summarizes the security goals. They want to thank Trevador, who's the original author of it. Security goals. Attacker-controlled input, mainly in the block to validate should not allow an attacker to denial of service. Methodology and reporting. Results summary. This is what we want. Okay, we're just going to read one just to kind of give you an idea. We did not find any security exploitable by an attacker to significantly impact RandomX's security. Cool. We initially believed that some of our findings had security impact, but after discussion with the RandomX designer, so they actually liaised with Trevador. That's cool. And further analysis, we realized that these were not realistic security concerns. For example, the cryptographic insecurity of the AES-based hash. Therefore, all of our findings are listed as observations as opposed to security issues. Interesting. That's cool. Okay. Our general assessment is that having a very narrow attack surface and a fairly simple, thus easy to analyze proof of work mechanism, we believe that RandomX is unlikely to fail its security goals. Woo! That said, there's certainly less certainty about it. The correctness of JIT logic, given the attack model, we nonetheless believe that any such error would not be exploitable. Cool. The last part is the cost efficiency of random X versus a dedicated ASIC. The advantage is hard to quantify, yes, and involves a lot of technical and economic variables. Therefore, we don't have a specific statement to make here. Okay, so some of the other ones did. Reload. Why did something go wrong there? Give me PDFs. I recommend like going and checking them out because they're all very different, but also really quite cool. I've only actually seen 3 of these, and it was a while ago. I don't specifically remember what they were. Executive summary. Here we go. Trail of bits. This was cool. And so, long story short, they've gone through, and we've got 4 independent analysis of them, which is freaking awesome. John says, give us a thumbs up. Yeah, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the share button, and hopefully I'll be doing a bit more like this. So like I mentioned, I've recently taken some time off of doing this, specifically just to help out with the local political party. New Zealand politics is now over for another 3 years. No, I'm just kidding. The election cycle is though, so back to doing this more. Hans says it's great that people will be able to leverage RandomX at home. What would bandwidth consumption be like? Oh, that's a great question, Hans. What would a bandwidth consumption be like? Really, 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 really tiny. If you are running a... So the interesting thing was back in the day, actually, I had a bunch of GPUs. I had 100 of them. All hooked up to 18 different PCs. I sold my house originally. That was a rental property. Bought GPUs. Long story short, didn't work. Don't recommend going out and buying 100 GPUs. I learned a shit ton of stuff the hard way. What would the bandwidth consumption look like? I figured that the bandwidth used by them, I could probably run on dial-up. So if you are just mining and just participating in a mining pool, yeah, you could probably just run off like it uses nothing. We're talking like a couple of megabytes a day sort of thing. Maybe a little bit more than a couple, but a few megabytes a day. It's really, 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 really little. Parsi says, if it drops to 1 cent, doesn't mean anything, just minus 50%. Yeah, okay. Money talk, cool. Monero has an Android mobile mining on RandomX on their GitHub. Is it possible to port that over to... If they've got it for RandomX mining, then we should just literally be able to use that and literally point it at a different mining pool. So that's what... So John says Monero has an Android mobile mining for RandomX on their GitHub. I thought it was only their Crypto Night. I didn't know it was RandomX. If it is RandomX, perfect. All that we need to do is literally change the mining pool, which add the extra flags. So -O stratum plus, and then go DigiByte.pool.com like that. That's the only difference that needs to happen. So this is because of this compatibility that we've been working on. So big shout out to Barry Style for this compatibility layer. It's freaking cool, and it's going to mean that we don't actually have to port anything in terms of those miners. So short answer is, if it is for RandomX, we're sweet, man. We can use it straight away. Gabriel, live long and prosper. I can't do the finger thing like like Star Trek. Halil says, with a Ryzen 5 2600, I got 1500 hashes per second with XMRig. Awesome, dude. That's freaking cool. Lee is getting 562 with an i5. Right, okay, so let's talk about the hash rate. Make sure that huge pages is enabled. Afterwards, it'll pop up and say, you can reboot, and it will enable it. I recommend rebooting. I mean, maybe not now. Maybe we'll start to wrap up this this live stream. But yeah, so reboot and then test it a second time, because I found I got like 40-45% more hash rate. Yeah, here we go. John, can't wait for this next CPU, a Ryzen Zen 3. I've been looking at those newly announced ones. Whoo! Yeah, the Zen 3 architecture looks freaking cool. Yeah, Ryzen 9 5900X. So I've got a 3900X. Oh, so nice. Makes my life so much easier when I'm doing CPU-based encoding for certain videos and things. So to give you an example, the reason that I was away was I laid low. I think it was for like 5 or 6 weeks. I did like 2 videos or something. over the course of just shy of 8 weeks, I made something like 2,500 videos and hosted somewhere in the vicinity of 50 live streams. So, yeah, lots of videos. Where are we here? I should be sleeping, Agent Sir. Yeah, nice, man. That's cool. Like, appreciate you tuning in, even though it's late. I'm guessing you're somewhere in Europe. Thanks for dropping by, dude. Appreciate it. Where are we? I think that holding some DigiByte is good from Passy. Yeah, that's cool. Cost isn't too bad. Threadripper 1900X. Yeah, the prices come down on the CPUs. Don't forget to track your DigiByte investments with DigiTracker. Yeah, APS. Hey, thanks for dropping by, dude. So DigiTracker app. Where are we? Have you got a link to it? Can you link me it? I don't have it. I'm just trying to find DigiTracker here, but I don't. DigiTracker's really cool. It basically, like, it plots the price and stuff like that. Really cool app for Android and stuff. So, thank you to APS for the DigiTracker app. It's awesome. Jesus says, let's go to the moon. Yeah, hey, thanks, Rutger. Hey, it's good to see you, man. Rutger is part of the DigiByte Foundation. Thanks for your super chat there, man. He's, I've missed him. I haven't talked very much with him lately because he's been rather quiet on the old Telegram chats and things like that, but he's a really cool dude, and I appreciate our chats and things. Thanks for the super chat there. He says, Ren DigiByte is going to be awesome. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing that when it comes out. So it's been a little while, like, in the works here with Ren and stuff, and this is going back a little bit to hear what John says. When Ren DigiByte is finalized, and yes, you will be able to provide liquidity and swap on Uniswap. There's a couple of retracted messages, I'm guessing what that was. Dun 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 dun. Let's just wrap this up then. Ren team's been working on it. His guess is soon. Ren DigiByte's ERC21 to run representation like Raptor BTC. That's freaking cool. Tara, order the AliPal. Seen the review. Wicked. Should I stick with it or order the SafePal S1? That's a really good question. The AliPal. Now that's going to really depend, like, what is it that you mostly want? Like, why are you getting the AliPal versus the SafePal? I've actually got... One second. I've got a bunch of these over here. So the SafePal, I've got... I like to keep them back in there. We've got the SafePal, which is quite cool. We have the AliPal as well. So what I do is usually I'll pop them back in their box when I'm using them, and I still fire them up and stuff. I'll like charge them, but I power them off and leave them in there. No, so you said you've just ordered the AliPal. I like the AliPal and I think it's cool, and they support DigiByte too, which is quite nice. I think the SafePal, if memory serves me right, was actually slightly easier to use. I've also got here, handy dandy BitFi, and I've got Decent as well. That one was slightly harder to use, but it was still actually quite a cool little device. What I should do is bring this up real quick because Tara's asked a really good question. Let me go to Medium. And we'll scroll down because I wrote about it. Show more. It's one of the questions I get asked all the time is I'm new to crypto. What should I... Yeah, how'd that work out, John Kim? Fucker. Such a cunt when it comes to the price. CQX, perfect hand holding, show more. No. I want AliPal. BitFi. Did I not write about AliPal? Maybe I haven't. Maybe it was just the video. It was a year ago. Ah! Well, okay, apparently it's not in there. Perfect. CQX was the perfect hand holding. So apparently I really liked the CQX wallet. That was quite cool. Should you get one? I don't know. Look, to be honest, if you've got one and you're just using it, usually what I would recommend is using this kind of thing. I like the display on that. I would recommend using this kind of thing more for like a long-term storage. If you're going to be using it on the regular, definitely just grab yourself the DigiByte app. Because otherwise, like, I don't know about you, but I've got my cell phone with me most of the time here. You can see I've been sending. Just use the Android app or iOS app, right? Like, is there any reason, I guess, why you need that? Why you'd want... Yeah. I can get 3 Safe Pals for the price of an LE Pal, but they look the same to me. Are there any major upsides to one or the other? Yeah, actually, the LE Pal was cool. It is more of a, like, a purist, if memory serves me right, in terms of the way that it works. I just realized that you couldn't see me scrolling up and down the... Oh, that's funny. So the LE Pal was a bit more purist in terms of its hardware implementation. The Safe Pal was slightly more newbie friendly and things. Hans, thanks for the answer. It only consumes... Yeah, that's really cool. Let's quickly skim through. How is government approval? I don't know. We haven't been using DigiByte in New Zealand government. Who knows? Tara, haven't seen the BitFi. I love the BitFi, actually. Like, so in terms of... If you want to go for, like, the most purest hardware, the BitFi basically doesn't store your private keys, which is really quite cool. I really like my BitFi. I'm a big fan of them. They're also really big supporters of DigiByte too, which is freaking cool. Definitely check them out. John says, if you're curious, yeah, Ali Pal Safe. I mean, do you need to go out and buy all of them though? Like, how much are we talking about? That's one of the things that I mentioned in some of the videos. Is I'm like, that's cool that you are wanting a hardware wallet and things like that, but if you've got $100 worth of crypto and you're going to spend $200 on a wallet for it, that's pretty messed up. Like, I've got my wallet, and I'll spend $7 on my wallet and get something from AliExpress, you know, and I keep my FPOS cards in there. I'll keep a couple $100 cash sometimes, depending. I hate cash, but, you know, you receive cash, you keep it in there for a little bit, and you still deem it safe enough, right? I just, yeah, keep everything on Android or iOS. I love those wallets. Rutger's gone and linked us digibytewallets.com. Thanks, man. Tara, yeah, Safe Pal is a quarter of the price. Is it a quarter of the price? That's pretty impressive. I do. I like it, and it's really quite... It is dinky, is probably the best way of describing it. Like, it's cute as shit. Yeah, let's keep going. Dun, 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 for $10,000 plus. Okay, if you got $10,000 worth of crypto, yeah, then it might be worth obviously spending $200 on like a BitFi. How's your memory though? Because if you don't remember, then you lose your crypto. So that's kind of why the BitFi is best, but not. It's its weakness. I can actually even just bring the comments over here, so I'm all looking over here as well. Can you use RandomX on a Threadripper 3990X 64 core? Woo! Gabriel, that's a great question, man. What? Yes is the short answer. Absolutely. Hell yeah, you can with a much lesser CPU. Yup. 5,200 Canadian for 3990X. Holy moly. Tara might grab both. Yeah, cool. Hates cash. Yeah, I'm the same. I fucking hate cash. Maybe we should wrap it up then. We'll call it an hour. It's been a nice hour. It's been cool to catch up with people and give you a bit of an update on RandomX. My mind is absolutely blown by the fact that we could have 15 to 20,000 CPUs worth contributing to DigiByte at the current price. Obviously, price goes up, more people jump on, hash rate goes up, it's snowball, and I think that's really cool. So, if you do have any other questions though, feel free to hit me up. If you're watching this afterwards, reach out to me in the comment section below. Thank you to everybody who has joined in the chat as well. A lot of real friendly and familiar names. Do you play games? Yeah, I play Dota 2 actually. Maybe I should quickly bring that up just for shits and giggles to show you. Hang on a second. Where is OBS? Let me just move this over. Can we see that? Yeah, we can. Dota 2. Just a couple of hours worth of playtime. 7,500 worth. Yes, and that's me playing. So I play a lot of Dota 2. Yeah, wrapping up in the comments. Thanks everybody for joining. Really appreciate you tuning in. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe. Share this video. If you know other people that are keen to find out a little bit about it, or who you want to blow their mind as well with some of the very ballpark, very back of the napkin math in terms of random mix miners. If somebody's got a more accurate way of predicting the future, if you've got a crystal ball, hit me up, because I'd love to hear that, or be corrected, or whatever. Ruger says, it's great to see you again. Thanks for doing these. You're doing great for DigiByte. Appreciate all that you do too, man. Thank you as well for the DigiByte Foundation and for their contributions that brought us over the line for Random X, so that we can reach the bounty. So it is basically almost ready to be committed. Like I mentioned, we've been working on it the whole time, so that's really awesome. And Barry's basically been putting in longer than 8-hour days into this thing, so that's freaking cool, really excited, and stay tuned, because we will have some more details coming soon, no doubt. Anyway, I will talk to you all in the next video. Have a good one, take care, and we'll see you soon.